Once upon a time, this castle has a history full of twists and turns. It's a great visit not far from Paris. You too can visit this private castle. And in this video, I'm going to show you le Château de Breteuil that has always remained in the same family since 1604. Bonjour, my name is Blandine and I'm a big fan of visiting interesting places in or around Paris. And for 80% of my life, I've lived in the Paris area. So why is this castle fascinating? Because it still belongs to the same family and its history is a roller coaster as much as French history is a roller coaster. Remember that Gary Vee says that he likes history because history helps him to find out patterns. I happened to visit Le Château de Breteuil with a family member, which makes the visit all the more interesting. Not bragging here because everybody is warmly welcome there, but just sharing. Discovering Le Château de Breteuil and rediscovering the Charles Perrault fairy tales go hand in hand. You can easily spend a whole day here and nature is beautiful. But more on Charles Perrault and the park later on. So it was at age 17 that the current owner, whose title is Marquis de Breteuil, served his castle. His father had intended to sell the castle, so a hotel complex was planned to replace it. And we were in the 1960s there. With his mother's help, the young man enlisted the help of Malraux, a French culture minister, who classified the entire chateau and grounds as a historic monument. Ouf! Ouf is phew in French. The castle was safe, but it was in such a poor state of repair in the 1960s that the work to be done was humongous. And there you have it, Henri-François de Breteuil set about restoring the castle and he was able to open it to the public in 1969. So I would usually start with a little bit of background, but here the history is big and goes along with the visit. And it's both a historical and a fun visit, as you will find 50 wax statues from Le Musée Grévin make the visit more realistic. Fun fact, here the family of the Marquis de Breteuil gave 3 ministers to the kings of France. So the chateau history covers a large part of the French history from Louis XIV to the Third Republic. Key moments played out here and anecdotes abound. Here you will see the arrest of Cardinal de Rohan by le Baron de Breteuil in the story of the Queen's necklace. And further on, in the treasure cabinet, you will find a reproduction of this necklace, which at the time had 647 diamonds. Further on the visit, you will find Louis XVIII in his wheelchair, the same Louis XVIII as in the previous video, as he was king after Napoleon's fall in 1814. And here in this room, the young Charles de Breteuil, in blue, was a prefect and advisor of the king. A whole treasure cabinet displays objets d'art, and this table, la table de Teschen, was given to le Baron de Breteuil in 1779 to thank him for ending a war of succession in Bavaria, Germany. This original table is now at the Louvre in the Sully Wing. And it features 128 inlays of semi-precious stones and petrified wood. This ingenious clock allows the date and month to be reflected in the mirror. So you have it all, time and the date. Let me point out that Louis de Breteuil's granddaughter, Gabrielle Émilie de Breteuil, Marquise du Châtelet, was one of the first female scientists. In this scene, you will see her in the Age of Enlightenment with Voltaire. Known as Madame du Châtelet, she was Voltaire's companion for 15 years, and we are in the 1730s here. As she was a gifted Latin speaker, she translated Newton's essays. Now, it's always interesting to be reminded that Diderot's Encyclopedia and Voltaire's writings were banned from publication as a start. In this other room, you will see Le Marquis de Breteuil, the Prince of Wales, and Léon Gambetta in 1881, already at l'Entente Cordiale, agreeing together. Of course, in this castle you would find as much comfort as possible, and this bathroom is a real highlight. Le Château de Breteuil hosted prestigious guests, including the King of England, for whom the table is still set in the dining room. Now, most of the ground floor is dedicated to reception rooms, and you can organize here private events or weddings in these beautiful settings. As per the kitchens, I love them. They take you straight back to downtown Abbaye. And this early fridge is a good illustration of the creative process. It's a classic cupboard with the addition of a refrigeration system to keep food fresh for longer. And there you have it, a fridge. And now the park. The park is huge and magnificent, with trees that have been there for over 300 years. So there is a remarkable trees walk. As per the dovecote, it bears witness to the Middle Ages. At the time, Le Château de Breteuil was a medieval fortress on this site, and the interior of the dovecote is beautiful. Nature is beautiful too at the Château de Breteuil, and the Bucolic Garden is relaxing. A labyrinth of vegetation is always a hit. And guess who mows the lawn? Sheep contribute to the mowing effort. And here at the Château de Breteuil, the Château House buildings feature 8 scenes from Perrault fairy tales. So, Bluebird will thrill you once more. Charles Perrault is a writer. He began a political career. He worked for Louis de Breteuil, as Louis de Breteuil was Louis XIV's General Controller of Finance. That's why Le Château de Breteuil pays a tribute to Charles Perrault. And Charles Perrault was born in 1628, and he was the one who laid the foundations for a new literature genre, the fairy tale. The best known of his tales include The Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Puss in Boots, Sleeping Beauty, and Bluebird. Some of Perrault's story influenced the German versions published by Grimm's brothers. It was more than 100 years later. And the stories, of course, continue to be printed and being adapted to most entertainment formats that you know. So Perrault was an influential modern figure in the 17th century French literary scene. So here you will also see Cinderella losing her slipper again. Et voilà, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was interesting to you, I would be thrilled if you would leave a blue thumb up, maybe leave a comment, and why not subscribe. Until next time, thank you for your time, enjoy Paris! Labyrinth, labyrinth, oh, labyrinth. Why not? Interesting to you, I would be thrilled.